So you guys are currently in Mobile, Alabama, you were saying, correct?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. How has Alabama been so far? I know you guys had one hell of a show last night in terms of the
Yeah,
visuals that you guys put
Hunt.
up. It looked crazy.
Yeah, Huntsville turned up.
Yeah,
They showed up and they turned up.
one of the
It was
top,
amazing.
one of the top ones for the run.
Yeah, between them and Virginia Beach.
Virginia Beach laid it out too. Albany
Yeah.
too. Actually, Albany, New York was there too. They had it good going on too. But Alabama showed up yesterday. We were surprised.
Mm, not that
Now,
surprised.
what would
I
you
was
guys,
surprised.
yeah, not surprised. There you go. What would you guys say is, you know, the, or what are the qualities you guys remember of a great crowd when you leave a show? Is it the fact that they're singing along? Is it just the overall engagement or like the crowd sizes?
I mean, I think for us, it's like the opening slot. For me, at least, it's giving us a chance, and they don't decide prior to that they don't like us. You know what I mean? If that makes
Right.
sense.
They're
Like,
open to discovering
yeah,
you guys.
Right.
exactly. Huntsville did exactly that. They were into it within two songs, and we're starting to see people sing our words, which is weird.
Yeah, which is cool though.
It's
We
a
love
weird
that.
feeling. We love it, but it's new to us, and the tour has just been friggin' amazing. This one's been great. We love America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. So have you guys toured America before, or is this the first time?
yeah. We did four shows with Pop Evil back in April,
April. Yep.
late April, but just four shows. So this is our first official big US
American
run.
tour. Yeah.
Nice. And coming out of Waterloo, what would you guys say are the biggest differences for the crowds that you're playing in the States? I would imagine there's probably more similarities, but there must be some differences.
I would say more differences than similarities, to be honest with
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think the one thing about America is that a lot of people are more engaged in going out just in general.
Mhm.
Whereas Canada, they're going out for something specific, kind of
Right.
thing. So to go back to what Taylor was saying before, that actually gives us the opportunity for fans to kind of fall in love with us, is that they come out without the mindset of I'm just coming for this one band, and they end up liking a new band. So I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference of it.
Very cool. Taylor, you would agree?
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It does seem like there's more of an attitude of a specific audience in Canada for sure.
Yeah, they direct to the bands they love for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you guys feel like this is something that is exploding a little bit more after COVID? Just like the fact that people are willing to go out and just, discover a bunch
Yeah.
of new things, or was it the same before?
I think that people have a lot of pent up energy now, and they're still, even though, COVID's a good amount of time behind us now, I think we still have that need, we have
Yeah.
that lost time to make up for it.
Yeah, live music is just definitely something I think will never go away. And it just took a little bit more time for people to get re-engaged in their communities and getting back out there and stuff like that, I think. And now that I think that everyone is feeling like, they're out there and having a good time, or they're able to go out to have a good time, I think that they're starting to re-engage a lot more now.
What were some of the hardest parts about getting yourselves to a place where like you could legally perform in the States? I mean, was that a super challenging process? Because I know a lot of
It,
Canadian artists struggle with that.
yeah, it's pretty. I wouldn't say it's necessarily challenging, but it's long.
The
It's
visa process.
expensive.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
visa process and the expenses are very high in that list.
But once you get down here, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience to get here, but once you're here, it's by far and beyond worth coming out for it.
Yeah.
So you guys would say it's definitely something that's essential if you really want to branch out.
Yes. Yes.
We talk to lots of our friends that are Canadian bands, and they always ask us, "Hey, what can we do to help get us to the level that you guys are at?" And we always say, "Get out of Canada, like come
Yeah.
to the U.S. because
You got to go matter somewhere else.
yeah, before they matter at home,
Yeah.
we have a great home following and a great group of bands there too that support the scene and stuff like that for sure. But it just doesn't have the numbers that America has, and this gives you an opportunity to grow at a much faster pace.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it seems like when you come back, like you said, you have to go somewhere else, kind of blow up a bit, and then come back, and then you'll get more of that general hometown love. But the people who are really, genuine from day one, they also exist, which is a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah,
100%.
I think that's probably the most important thing, right? They're the
Yeah.
ones who have your history, right?
Well, and they're gonna bring you to the longevity in your career
That's
too,
right.
right? So the day oneers.
That's it. So, in terms of starting in Ontario, is there a very big metal rock scene in Waterloo, or did you guys find yourselves venturing out to Toronto
It
quite a bit?
there used to be a huge metal scene in like the Tri-City area, so that like the three but it kind of dropped off in the last,
COVID.
I'd say like 10 years.
COVID was the worst
before
part of
that, but
even before that. But yeah, COVID was the worst part of it for sure.
but it
Because there were businesses that were going down. In
yeah.
Canada, it's a lot smaller of a market, so you have a lot more of the smaller clubs matter,
Yeah.
you know, and a lot of them lost their businesses during that time. So it really starts to put a red tape on where you can do shows and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was pretty big, and so how would you compare it to a scene like Toronto, for example?
Well, Toronto's our hub, you know.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Yeah.
So um
Toronto is the pinnacle place, I think, where they're going out for a specific reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Though
Okay.
that's the problem. A lot of the big markets in Canada is where everybody knows what they love and they're going to do what they love, and that's all they do. You know, even to the point where they'll come out to shows that have multiple great bands on it, just see their band and then leave and go somewhere else, right? So the difference in America is people are there at the beginning, they stay for the show, you know, and they kind of enjoy the whole thing. So yeah, the hub is good to have, but it definitely it's got its markets built.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, how about in terms of getting out there on tour like we're talking about? You guys dropped your debut full-length album in 2023. Were you guys very much active in the scene before this, or is this sort of a newer project, sort of right from the debut?
I mean, so I've been going at this project for about 8 years. Jay's been with me for two, and it's just really skyrocketed since we found this lineup. And yeah, so like Phantom Pain's our debut album. It took me like 4 years to write that guy, and
Wow.
now we're firing on all cylinders and already writing the next one.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Now, was it intentional that you wanted to take a lot of time to make that first record, or did it just end up that way?
there wasn't a rush at the time, you know, like we were doing a lot of bigger local opening slots, and yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it's a different game now.
For sure. Well, we see that reflected in you guys releasing an EP as well recently. How would you describe the short form EP creation process compared to the long form creation process of an album?
There's a lot of pressure for the Karma EP. You know,
Yeah.
once we dropped that full length album, the wheels started to turn a lot quicker. And we had something that was kind of gone out to the world and we wanted to keep the momentum going. So there's definitely a little bit of pressure to put that one out. So we were under the gun a little bit more for that. But the best thing that happened for us was that gave me and Taylor a little bit of time because I'm, like you said, I'm relatively new. It gave us a little bit of time to work under pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and when we started to work in that realm and started to find all these unlocking all these great things that we were doing together, it started to form a good path for us to start writing new music. And then now it's starting, the new music's coming a lot quicker, right? And
Yeah.
a lot easier
Yeah.
for the two of us together now. But yeah,
Well, and we've also, in the short amount of time that you've been a part of the band, we've defined the sound
yeah,
a lot
Okay.
better. So it's firing way better.
yeah.
you know?
The vision is getting a
Yeah.
lot more strong for sure.
So would you guys say you work better under a bit of pressure?
Yes,
Hell yeah.
Or maybe
we
that's
love
anybody.
pressure. We love pressure,
Yeah.
man. We love the light, we love the shine, and put us under it, and we like to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put us under the microscope.
That's it.
I love that. Now, in terms of you guys' sound, I feel like there's so many different influences from the world of rock and metal. You guys are really all encompassing when it comes to covering your bases genre wise. In terms of your personal listening, and I'd imagine you'd both have sort of different answers. Are you more drawn to the classic metal and rock or the more modern day stuff? Because, like I say, you guys have a great mix of the two.
Well, and see, we're both on opposite ends of the spectrum on that.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
the old school metal guy, and I love the new modern stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of what's helping define our sound right now
mhm.
is that, you know, he's pulling me into the modern, I'm pulling him back to the history, and we're trying to find this place where these things are marrying each other, but we both love music that's not just rock and metal, you know, and I think that's an influence that we're both taking from all the time.
Yep.
So we're trying to use these elements that are outside rock and metal, but also use our history and our I guess you would say like chosen genres. You know, he was more modern, I'm more old school, and bring in those you know I guess like standards that they bring, you know, for our music.
Yeah.
That's what we try to add. Yeah.
Would you guys say you find yourselves sort of in the dressing room and in the tour bus listening to more metal or more other genres, like you mentioned?
Other, I would
It's
say.
all
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
place, but probably other. You
Yeah.
know, we're listening to metal music every night on the road.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the job, right? So it's a nice break.
Or podcasts.
Or
We do
podcasts.
like
Okay.
serial killer podcasts and
Nice.
like crime investigation
Yeah.
podcasts.
Usually to wherever we're going, we try and find. I don't know why we do that.
Yeah,
though.
if we're in North Carolina, let's say we try to find a serial killer podcast that happened in North Carolina, kind of thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, and follow the roots of that, and then so we know where we're going.
And
We're
then
like,
we get there and we're like,
yeah,
Yeah. This feels weird now.
You guys locked the door tonight? Yeah.
So it's a lot of different variety because I would imagine, yeah, when you're immersed in that metal world, and that's sort of a question I have. Like, how do you retain the love for it without it feeling like work when it's technically your job? Because that's a really tricky one, I think.
it's getting on the stage.
Getting
As
up
soon as
there.
you're on the stage and you get that reaction, you get that what's the word I'm looking for? That reinforcement
Hmm.
that we're out here doing it and it's paying off.
Yeah.
That's when it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And that's when it pulls you back in.
And
You know?
I think part of it is just like it's part of our music is part of our personalities. You know what I mean?
I don't think any of us would know what to do.
No, like we even if it's not metal in the van, music always ends up going back on. You know, like we're still listening to music all day, and we try to like find stuff that's different and show each other new things too. That's another fun part of the like this being on the road together is like, hey, you ever heard this record? Nah, it's like we have the time to take it in. You know, so that definitely is one of the things that really is exciting for us is like, hey, because we all have different loves for different genres and different styles, we're opening each other to new stuff all the time.
Exactly.
Or old stuff, I guess. Yeah, even opening
Right.
each other to old stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So, how about in terms of the other bands that you guys tour with? Do you find yourselves all sort of hanging out backstage, or is it sort of like each band stays in their own quarters for the most part?
It's open living quarters,
Yeah,
It,
it's
go.
very cool.
It
We've
feels-
been lucky, I think.
it feels like one big happy family.
Yeah, we've been
Yeah.
very lucky to have just great crews and bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and open door policy is pretty much how it goes backstage. So that's been really great.
Now, how did you guys first connect with Pop Evil? Because you mentioned doing 4 shows with them in the past, or I guess earlier this year. What was the connection there initially?
I think we just had
We just came off the Skid Row tour.
yeah, we had come off a tour and they had a tour that was going and part of it was in Canada. So I think they were kind of like interested on having someone open up that had a little bit of that following in Canada and kind of had at least had the professionalism of doing that through that cycle. So we had gotten chosen to do a very small tour with them. It was only 9 shows in 10 days. It was a very short run, half in America, half in Canada. And in that 10 days, we just became very, very close with the guys. We hit it off really, really well, and it ended up being something that transferred after the tour, and we all just stayed friends, kind of thing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what led to this being our next tour with them.
I love that. And definitely a group that brings so much professionalism and just such great energy
Insane.
to the stage. I think
Yes.
it's a perfect, match for you guys.
And such a great, like, again, the great crew and the great band, and they're teaching us so many different things and opening up their world.
Oh, you guys still there?
Touring rig and
Yeah, we won't be coming back to Canada the same band.
Yeah.
Well, we will, but
but we will.
better.
But a better version.
Right.
Exactly.
I like that. How about touring with Skid Row and Buck Cherry? That must have been one hell of
That
a tour.
was
That was a trip. That
Yeah.
was a trip.
yeah, you were like that was a whole different level of touring, right?
Those were like small arena, odd type shows, and we got spoiled.
Totally
got really
spoiled on
spoiled.
that. Yeah. Again,
Sure.
incredible bands, incredible crews
Yeah.
for that too.
Yeah.
Would you say that you guys have, really big expectations when you go on a tour like that, or are you more so open to whatever the experience gives you?
We just roll with the punches. That's what we try and do.
Especially as an opener,
Yeah.
you kind of just go with whatever's happening. Not every tour is going to be filled with bands that want to hang
Yeah.
out or crew that wants to hang out. So
Yeah.
you just go with it.
Yeah.
We enjoy the road, just us, kind of thing
That's
too.
it.
And I think that's what draws a lot of bands and crew to us is they see we're having a good time together and they know it's loose where we are. So it gives them an opening to just be like, hey, these guys are just chill. And so that's been great too.
It makes people want to work with you because, yeah, I mean, a lot of
Totally.
bands, they go out there, they have bad energy, and then they wonder why nobody wants them on their tour.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
How about the pre-show ritual? Well, I mean, obviously, you guys, do some interviews before some of these shows. What else do you guys find yourselves doing to get geared up or to relax before the shows?
Is this a 19 plus? Is this an
This is
adult,
21 and up, my friend. This is it.
Yeah. I mean, me and Taylor are also on complete opposite ends on that, but I drink a lot of whiskey, smoke some weed, and that'll get me where I usually need to go up there, and it's just something I've always had part of my upbringing as an old school metal dude. It's just part of my routine and part of my ritual every day. But yeah, that's what I would do. If you got a little bit of whiskey and a little bit of smoke, I'm in a good mood.
Ready
And
to rock.
and I'm 15 months sober, so
Right.
I'm on
Oh,
the
wow.
I'm on the complete opposite end of the spspectrum.
Yeah.
I try and get some push-ups in, maybe.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's about it.
Salad.
I pace a lot.
Yeah.
A little bit of pacing. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that's interesting though, because it doesn't seem to affect the band dynamic at all. Was that ever
No.
even a conversation?
Not really. I mean, like,
No.
I think we try to leave that back where we can, but like, obviously, we want to try to respect the way we both live and stuff. And
We have clear boundaries and we both respect each other's
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah.
That's as long as you have a mutual respect within the group and don't take advantage of one another.
it doesn't affect the product of what we're trying to do every
Yeah.
day, then
Yeah.
we're completely okay. Yeah.
So I would imagine those boundaries in general are, one of the key components to keeping a band together because we see so many bands fall apart. I would
Right.
imagine that, if you fail in some of those areas in terms of, mutual respect and stuff, the band may be, potentially in trouble.
I think there's a lot of self-regulation that happens in our band because of the individual journeys that we've all been on.
Mhm.
I think individually we've all had a lot of struggles in life, so we're very used to keeping ourselves in check, and we have different ways of dealing with a lot of different things. Taylor and me, and even Wes and Dave, our new bass player too. Like we've just been learning with him as well. But you all have different ways of coping with different stuff and dealing with different stuff. But if we usually come to the table with love and respect first.
Yeah.
And
try and understand.
yeah, and try to start with an understanding, and again, we all are very professional first.
Yeah.
Our personal indulgences or our non-indulgences are based off of what happens after the professional side is complete.
Mhm.
So I think that's a big part of it, of trusting one another, is that the van is in a good state, the guys are in a good state, the show's in a good state, then it's kind of like at your leisure. As long as you're doing that, we're happy.
What would you say is the most challenging part in general of keeping the band going if you had to really pinpoint it?
Money.
Money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No hesitation.
Yeah, no, it's a very, 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 very expensive endeavor, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's without the investment, or the ability to invest in what we're doing, it seems like it's always kind of dead in the water, or you're just relying 100% on luck,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know.
I've heard a lot of artists end up paying to go on tour to a degree.
It happened. We've done
It
it.
happens. We've
Yeah,
done it.
We've
yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's part of the process these days, it seems. Unfortunately, because you get to a point where the industry has kind of got their own way of working, and they have the power to just be like, it's our way or the highway, you know. Um, Momentum is the biggest thing too in music, you know. So sometimes you don't really have the opportunity to sit, you know, especially if you're from Canada. It's not, the value of a tour is very high for us, you know.
Yeah.
If you think you have the opportunity to sit still, you don't.
Right,
Keep
yeah.
moving. That's the time you should probably start moving.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to give you some light here, buddy, because we're sitting in the dark here.
That's okay. I
I'll do-
appreciate it.
yeah, yeah,
It's slowly getting brighter.
yeah.
So
There you go.
so it's really tough to maintain those elements, but that's obviously where the passion comes in, because that's what I mean. You always hear people say you have to love it, or else you're not even going to attempt it, right?
1,000%. Even if you have the money, even if you have the tours, even if you have all the things that you want, it's very difficult, you know. And it's not just difficult to do, but we all leave things at home to do it. So that adds to the difficulty. A lot of people don't see
Yeah.
that part of it, right?
Yeah.
Your wife, your kid, your house, your girlfriend, your dog, you know, like there's so many things that you leave behind to come out
Yeah.
and do something like this. And the reality is it's a privilege to be out here. So
Yeah.
you give it up to do that, right? But yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's very difficult. There's more than just the surface part of it, right?
Yeah.
No, for sure. So how about outside of the US and Canada? Where would you guys hope to see yourselves performing, let's say in the next couple of years? It could be venues or specific cities.
Well, I'd love to do like Japan. We both would
Yeah.
really
It's
like to do Japan.
Big on our list.
I'd love to do the UK.
Also
Just in
big.
general.
Yeah.
I don't care where. Put me
No.
anywhere. I'll
No.
play it.
Yeah. If you want to talk about a venue, though, my number one is probably going to be in America. It'd be Red Rocks in Colorado.
Yes.
Oh,
Pretty
nice.
sick.
Yeah.
That's got to be probably my number one that I would like to do.
Mhm.
That would be
It's a good
so
one.
cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'd
that-
top that. The
be a tough
dome.
one
What's
to-
the dome?
Oh, yeah, the dome in Vegas. Yeah, that'd be one to
There
top,
you go,
yeah.
the Sphere.
The Sphere, yeah, the
Yeah,
Sphere. That's right. Yeah.
That would be super cool. I mean, yeah, looking into the future, it seems like so many more venues are going to be building to be more dynamic, more interactive. Is that something you guys are excited for as a band?
Very.
Excited and so scared. But
Yeah.
Nice. Healthy mix
Yeah.
of the two.
I'm
Yeah.
more excited now than I probably would have been if I wasn't in this band, because Taylor has such a modern mindset of music and like ideas and stuff like that. He builds all these crazy things, and I'm kind of like a crazy dude with ideas. So like I can just bring a stupid idea to Taylor and he can invent it, kind of thing, right? So
Nice.
when you have the opportunity to have these like big ass venues that are doing these crazy entertainment valued systems, then all you need is imagination and a guy who can pull it off, and it'll happen, right? So
Who does the majority of the writing in the band?
probably Taylor,
It
obviously.
was
yeah,
primarily
before,
me.
Yeah.
We are trying to find a way how to get everybody's input. Jay's written our last single, Horizons, is his first
Full song endeavor.
full song
Yeah.
endeavor
Nice.
with
Together.
Sierra Pilot, and we're gonna be writing a bunch more.
We got a bunch more kind of in the
We got good
Yeah.
writing chemistry, and it's gonna be sweet. I'm really stoked for it. Yeah.
So it's more of a collaboration at this point.
Yeah.
starting to become that way for us. Even our drummer is starting to really get involved. So Taylor's been the guy since day one, and he's been trying to find guys to come in and help him out in those all these areas, and we're finally at a point where I think we're starting to get some great traction doing it together. So
That's super cool. Now, in
Very
terms of musical collaborations, is there a group or artist that you guys would potentially like to either be featured with or, have featured on your song in terms of a collaboration?
you first.
Me first.
You first. I do have an answer.
Okay.
And I used this answer for the last like 6-7 years because I know
Is this a dead or alive thing?
It could be.
mine's alive anyway.
Um,
But yeah, that would be you know where I was gonna go.
I know
Maybe,
where
but
you're gonna go.
if I had the opportunity, I would like to do a heavy rock or a metal rock record with Post Malone.
Oh,
Nice.
'Cause
Okay.
I think he's one of the smartest musicians in jumping genres. And he is a rock dude. He is a metal guy. He loves Pantera. He loves
Yeah.
Nirvana. He loves a lot of the old school metal. And I think he's kind of a genius in his own right. So for me, Post Malone would probably be on the top of my list.
Taylor, can we expect Post Malone on the album?
We can
Did
do
you
our,
get
we,
Post Malone?
we can do our best, man. We can do our
I
best.
hope so. That'd be great.
Let's
I
just
love
start
that.
tagging him.
Yeah, just start. Yeah, tag him
everything.
first in this
That's
interview.
it. Tag him in
maybe.
this interview,
Great show with
guys.
Pop Evil
Yeah,
tonight.
you never know. You just
That's
never
awesome.
know who will get you there, right?
That'd be amazing. Taylor,
But yeah,
who's
he would be
your
on my list.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That'd be a good one. I was gonna say Michael Jackson just because I was gonna
Oh,
steal it.
fuck.
But
That'd be
like-
the man. The
but
man of yeah.
That might be a little harder than most.
Yeah, he's hard to get.
He's pretty hard to book these days. I'll give you
Hard to
that.
book these days. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously the tour is still going until the last show in Lexington, Kentucky on the 30th. What do you guys hope to really bring home in terms of lessons from this tour? I know Taylor, you said you guys aren't going to come home the same band in all the, best ways. What are you guys hoping to really gain from this experience so far?
Well, I think we constantly keep surprising ourselves just in the amount that we're accomplishing out here. We're beating sales records. We're doing intense drives. We're like
Our music is getting into deeper pockets with people
Yeah.
because they're realizing we're out here and working too, which has been
Yeah.
great.
and I think we're showing ourselves that we're capable of a lot more than
Mhm.
maybe we thought.
And
You
the
know?
other thing too, I think, is the crew stuff, right? We're learning a lot
Yeah.
from, like, I used to work as a crew guy for a couple bands, and then now when you get to hang out with a professional crew at this level, they can teach you so much about your rig, so much about your touring process, so much about everything between loading stuff and what's affordable to make your show better and stuff. So I think taking a lot of that information too is going to be detrimental to our growth. It will give us an opportunity to show the growth of the band without investing an insane amount of money, kind of thing.
Mhm. No, for sure. You guys got some music going?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a Jeep coming by right now, straight party time,
There you
Alabama
go.
styles. Yeah,
Alabama style party. I like that.
that's it. Yeah.
I want to remind everybody that Sierra Pilot is on tour with Pop Evil and Bad Wolves. You can get tickets to the remaining dates down below in the description. And make sure to go follow the guys on social media and let them know you saw them right here on the channel. And guys, thank you so much for making some time. I really appreciate it. It looks like the tour is awesome. And next time you're in Canada, I'm in Alberta. I'd love to catch you guys.
Oh, heck yeah.
We love Alberta.
We'll
So
be back out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank
Yeah.
you so much, man, for having us.